In the meantime, I'm joined in the studio now by our international affairs commentator, Doug Herbert. Doug, France saying that one of its soldiers has been killed by an Iranian missile. France, whether it wants to or not, being dragged into this conflict.
Yeah. First of all, an Iranian drone, a Shahed drone. But the soldier is dead, so, means of the death is sort of besides the point. Look, Macron has said on several occasions now, and he first said it last week when he was on the Charles de Gaulle aircraft carrier addressing his troops, that France is in the region and also in Iraq in a purely defensive posture. That is, and the soldier that was killed was actually part of an operation that has absolutely nothing to do with the U.S.-Israeli so-called Operation Epic Fury against Iran. But here's the catch. There is, if you are a European country, if you are France, there is no such thing from the standpoint of Iran or its proxies throughout the region. There is no such thing as having your military or military ships present in a defensive posture. The mere virtue of you being there, by dint of the fact that you have an aircraft carrier there, that you have ships there, frigates there in the region, you are seen from their optics, from their perspective, as being a legitimate target and being offensive. The group that has claimed responsibility for sending this drone against this French base, which is in the Kurdish, Iraqi Kurdish part of Iraq, Kurdistan, basically said that the reason that they struck is because France has sent an aircraft carrier to the region, the Charles de Gaulle, the one I was just referring to, the one that Emmanuel Macron visited the troops on just a few days ago and addressed them. So he could say as much as he wants it's there defensively. It's not taking part in offensive operations alongside the U.S. and Israel. They're purely there to protect their own troops, their own allies in the region from the missiles and the drones that are incoming from Iran. But like I said, from Iran's standpoint, that's just words. It's just rhetoric. You can't be there by Iran's definition in a purely defensive posture. What we're really saying is that willy-nilly, Emmanuel Macron, France, a lot of other European countries now potentially, find themselves, and there's no other term I could use, Haxi, but dragged into this conflict against their will, very much against their will. They never wanted this war, and yet here they are. And what I mean by here they are now very much a part of this conflict, whether they think they are or not, whether they want to acknowledge that they are or not, whether they see themselves as be there purely defensively, because factually it's very correct that the soldier who was killed, 6 others who were injured, were part of a long-standing operation called the Shamal operation, going back over a decade. It really began as the coalition fight against, in both Iraq and Syria, against the Islamic State group. 12 years later, it began in 2014. They're still there, still training Peshmerga, Iraqi Kurdish Peshmerga, to take on the Islamic State group, to fight these groups. Nothing to do with the U.S.-Israeli operation. But once again, I end with the thought, that is completely irrelevant. If you're right now geographically in Iraqi Kurdistan, you happen to be a French soldier, doesn't matter what the definition of your mission is. You are seen as a target, if not by Iran directly, by its militia proxies.
Doug Herbert, thank you very much.